The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome back to episode 2 of season 4 of the Meltdown. I'm Norm. I'm Norm.
Huh?
Jeff, what the hell are you doing?
I'm sending somebody a text message here.
We're doing a show, Jeff.
I know, but I got to send this right away. I mean, come on.
That is so rude. That is so freaking rude.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
And that and that is what we are talking about today, is rude people like Jeff. Now, of course, if you've watched The Meltdown in the past, you know that Jeff is never on his phone. So I came up with the idea that during the intro he'd be on his phone. That's so freaking funny.
I know.
You really have to know Jeff to understand the humor. So today we're talking about rude people. And now, Jeff, you can seriously put your phone down. So let's do that again. I'm Norm.
And I am Jeff.
Yes, and we are the hosts of the show, and glad that you could join us. In our discussion about rudeness, we have some fun facts today, and this might surprise you. It's a really interesting article I found on why we might actually respect rude people. So you need to hear that. Yeah. Plus, Lou Saracino is back for another Meltdown Minute with Lou. And in our stupidness, we're going to cover some things that rude people do. And do you do some of these things? Are you an offender? If you are, watch and learn, and then correct. Anybody can learn something. You have to know how to correct it.
Sounds
okay.
Good. So
let's start the way we always do, and let's go to some Meltdown fun facts. So this is a neat article I found called "Rude People Secretly Impress Us Even If We Really Don't Like Them." Okay, so let's take this bit by bit. Okay. First off, we don't like rude people. At least that's what we tell ourselves. The reality is we allow them to be rude. On some level, we are impressed by their rudeness. So impressed, in fact, that sometimes we ask them to be president.
Yeah.
Bottom line, the more financially secure someone feels, the ruder they are likely to be. Rudeness is one of the purest forms of power play, an effective way of controlling a situation, asserting your own superiority, and showing other people how very special you are. Remember the kid at school who was rude to the teacher? You'd never do that, would you? But remember how weirdly impressed you were? Donald Trump's schoolyard bravado was played out in an international playground, and every time he did it, he bought himself more fuel to keep going. It didn't impede him. It promoted him. It promoted him to the highest office in the world. And now for a comedic look at rudeness, here's Lou Saracino with a Meltdown Minute with Lou.
Today's show was all about rudeness. I'm going to clarify something here. I'm not a big fan of rude. I was raised Italian Catholic. You had to say please and thanks even after you got your ass kicked. You know what I mean? It was that strict. If I didn't say please and thanks, this is how bad it was. My mom's shoe would materialize out of thin air and crack me in the back of the head. And I'd hear this voice, make sure you said thanks. But it'd be far, like it's far away, right? But it's still very upfront. I don't understand that. I don't like when you open a door and doorknob walks through and doesn't thank you. I don't work for you, dude. And if I do, and you've hired me and I'm not aware of it, maybe we can talk about a better retirement package. I'm just saying. Here's the thing. I'm grabbing coffee, and I go, here's my money, and I go, well, what do you want? And I go, well, I would like a coffee with the 2 things in it. And she goes, well, it shouldn't be a problem. And I go, well, it's a coffee shop, so I'm hoping it's not going to be a problem.
Thank you, Louis. And now for some Meltdown stupidness. So here we are. This is interesting. The 10 rudest rude behaviors. Are you an offender? Listen closely. Number 1, and these are all things that are considered to be very rude.
Okay.
Being noisy. It doesn't matter where you are, but if you're around people, blasting music is rude, whether it's from your car, your home stereo, or in your yard. We can all relate to how irritating it is to pull into a gas station where 2 or more cars are blasting their bass. Oh my God, never mind gas station. How about just driving down the road now with some of these cars? You're driving to a nice peaceful drive, then suddenly you're
and the car's vibrating.
Oh yeah, and then suddenly your car starts shaking, and this little Honda Civic rolls by, and it's like blowing you out of the lane. Like it's ridiculous. And have you ever taken public transportation? I don't anymore, but when someone's got their Walkman on, that's not called Walkmans anymore, their MP3 player or phone or whatever, but the music is so loud that everybody can hear it.
It's even worse when it's sort of muffled because they've got their earbuds in and it's like... I would actually rather hear the music, to be honest.
If you had to hear anything.
It's just turn it down.
Yeah, please. And so don't. If you're doing this, stop it, okay? Just stop it. Here's the second rudest rude behavior, cutting in lines. It happens all the time at the grocery store, at public events, and at amusement parks. No one is amused. Skipping others in line shows that you think you are better than everyone else and that waiting is below you. In reality, everyone has to wait. That's just life.
It is.
Yeah. Again, if you do that, if you think for some reason you deserve to get in before someone else who's been there already, stop it. All right. Here's the third rudest rude behavior: interrupting. Now, Jeff,
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say the finale episode of season 3. You were interrupted constantly. And I have to admit that was very, very rude of Lou. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So interrupting. It is normal for very young children to interrupt adults when they're talking, but adults should know better than to cut someone off while they're saying something. But we've all been interrupted. Like,
there are people I know that are interrupters, which shows that they're not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know people like that, and very nice people, but they are being rude when they interrupt, and so in that sense, they're not being nice at that moment. It's listening skills. He will ask me a question, and I'll get 4 or 5 words into the answer, and he asks me another question. It's like, but I'm not done answering the question I just asked.
Yeah. So stop asking people questions if you're not going to listen to the answers. It's so simple, people. All right. Here's another rude behavior: bad table manners. We all know people like this. Elbows should be kept off tables. I'm guilty of that sometimes. No one should reach over the table for food or accidentally shove his or her armpit in a guest's face while reaching for something. Slurping, smacking, and chewing with one's mouth open is offensive and just plain gross.
Just ask to pass the carrots. Please pass the carrots. Simple
Please
as that.
pass the carrots. I can't reach them because my elbows are off the table. Oh, here's one, and we covered this in season 2. Not using a turn signal. Even though using a turn signal only takes a minimal flick of the wrist, more and more drivers are refusing to use the system of communication with other drivers. Sadly, using the turn signal benefits the one who is turning left or right from being rear-ended or sideswiped on a busy highway.
Yeah, we did that show several episodes ago, and people in Ottawa, a lot of people still are not using their turn signals. I can't believe they haven't listened to us.
Yeah, I know. I'm behind them every day. It's like our message is not getting out there. So,
yeah, you're in the turning lane, and people. I feel like we've said this before on the show, but people are in the turning lane. I guess they figure, I'm in the turning lane. I don't need to use my turn signal. Yeah, you still have to indicate that you're turning left or right. It's communication. It makes it that much safer.
But before you get into that turning lane, use your turn signal to tell people you're going that way.
Before you get into the turning lane, exactly. We talked about that before, but it bears repetition.
Ad nauseum. It does. You're right. All right, so we have a few of these left, so let's get to them. Another rude behavior is using the last of anything and not replacing it. This includes copy paper in the copier at work, gas in a shared car, and especially toilet paper at home. Now, Jeff, you live by yourself at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really have an issue because if you're pissed off that something isn't where you thought it was, it's because you put it somewhere else, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But in a situation at work, right? If somebody uses something that everyone uses and they don't replace it, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, just go get another roll of toilet paper, put it on the roller, or whatever the case may be.
I'm guilty with that in our bathroom with the facial tissue. Sometimes I use the last one. I'm thinking in my head, I should get another box, and then by the time that thought. Then I turn around, do something else, and the thought's gone, and I forget. And I need to get better at that. So there you go. Here's another very rude behavior: not teaching or enforcing manners in children. Not all parents are drill sergeants when it comes to discipline, but not instilling any manners in your child only hurts his or her future potential. Allowing children to run wild in public places and letting them scream and throw tantrums is rude behavior. So we're not just talking about the children. They don't know. They don't know any better, right? The kids don't know any better. But the parents who don't enforce this kind of discipline, that is rude. Very rude.
Exactly.
So stop that as well. I mean, you know what? If there's maybe some places you shouldn't take your kids if you can't control them. I'm being very, I did that with my kids too. If I know it's going to be a shit show at a restaurant, I'm not going to sit there. I'd be embarrassed. Everybody else is just trying to have a nice dinner, and some people, I don't know. All right. Third last one, another rude behavior, and this was Jeff, the beginning of the show, improper cell phone use. Listen carefully, Jeff. The introduction and popularity of cell phones has caused a whole new class of rudeness. Despite how commonplace these behaviors have become, it is still rude to be texting on your phone while also having a conversation with someone else, to talk on your cell phone during meals, to text or call while driving, which is also very dangerous and in Ontario illegal, to browse the internet during dates and dinners, and to answer a cell phone call while attending to other business. Did you get all that, Jeff?
I did get all that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is sunk in.
Good. So we'll never have that situation again? Okay. All right. Now here's another one, and maybe you've seen this. Another rude behavior, personal grooming in public. Grooming in public is insanitary and offensive behavior. A person should not clip or chew their nails in public, clean out their noses, or brush their hair in places other than the bathroom. Many people find it acceptable to brush their hair in public places, but doing so leaves hair and dead skin cells all over the place. Grooming should be done in the restroom.
Put your deodorant on in private.
Oh, no, that you can do in a restaurant. I've done that before.
Pass the carrots and you're...
Yeah, Joe, do you mind? Yeah, ma'am, I'll have another...
I'm just going to reach for the carrots while I put my
reach for
deodorant
the carrot
on.
and put your... I like that. I like that, Jeff. I'm going to do that. Our last rude behavior is also a driving behavior.
Okay.
Driving slow in the passing lane.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets any ruder than that. On any two-lane road, the left lane is designed for passing the slower traffic in the right lane. However, slow drivers have no problem driving 10 miles below the speed limit in the passing lane for the duration of their travel. They either do not see the mounting traffic stuck behind them or ignore the honking of people who would like to pass them. Turn signals, driving in the... so many things. But this is a good list. That was a good list of things. And while we're reading that list, if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, oh, geez, actually, I do that, then you're being rude. But the good news is you can change. Just be aware of the rude things you're doing, stop doing them, and the world will be a better place.
It will be.
Yeah. Next week, Jeff, keep talking. I got to figure out what we're doing.
Okay, I'm going to keep talking here while Norm, I don't even know what we're doing next week. I'm going to take a look at the sides for that self-tape, and I'm going to see how much time I need to rehearse. And
Okay, shut up. All right, so next week on the show, Jeff and I are going to take a stab at organized religion. That's going to be a fun topic.
It will be.
Yeah. So we're not going to be talking about is there a God, is there not a God? That's up to you to decide for yourself.
Yeah.
But organized religion, there's just so much to talk about, isn't there? So we're probably going to offend a lot of people in the next week's show. So if you're easily offended, please watch and let us know if we did offend you, because we'd really like our offensive numbers to go up.
But not high enough yet.
Not high enough yet. Okay, so until then, I'm Norm.
And I am Jeff.
And this has been The Meltdown, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.